Hello, welcome back. Another week, another send him off episode, another edition of the big game. Our new little segment where we do some proper analysis, although it's not really. We just have a laugh to me and a bit of a chat. But joining me as always is my ever-present podcasting partner with some Wi-Fi difficulties. Alex,
Absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. You're supposed to check this like in advance. I didn't. Of course I didn't. When would I ever do that? Makes no sense. But there we are. We're here. Hopefully you can all see me. Hopefully you can all hear me. And we're not alone. We are joined. Sam, you do the intro because I always cock the intros up, don't I?
Well, you said it on me, mate.
Exactly.
We're joined by two guests who are fountains of knowledge of their respective clubs. In the red corner, we've got Man United writer for the Manchester Evening News, Omar. How are you doing, Omar Garrick?
Yeah, not too bad, Sam. How are you guys doing? Alex as well. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see when we get to the end of this episode. If I freeze or not,
We'll see. Well, it might just be me by the end of this.
Well, hopefully not. But no, I'm happy to be back on, guys. Yeah, happy to
have you back.
Yeah, good to have you back. And in the claret and blue corner.
I'm so glad you said that because I thought about that. I was
claret and blue corner. We've got another returning guest, black cab driver and stand-up comedian, friend of the podcast, Trevor Bickles. How are you doing?
Hello, guys. Thank you very much for having me. Good seeing you, and good to see you as well, Alex. Well, everything considering.
Yeah, I know. I honestly thought someone was going to have to send a messenger pigeon at one point. It was
good to see you moving in real time rather than lagging.
Ropes, I know. But there we are. Right. We're finally doing this episode, like after last week, we're doing this episode like properly now. So let's have some proper debate. Let's get into each other. Come on, boys. Yeah. Let's start getting it.
Yeah, we'll have to separate you now.
Yeah.
We're arguing.
Order a steward somewhere.
We are here, of course, to talk about West Ham against Man United. It is at West Ham, isn't it? I probably should have done that.
Old Trafford.
Old Trafford. There we are. Manchester United v West Ham. Good start, Sam. Good start. We'll go to the away team first then. Trevor, obviously a pretty good season so far for your boys. Pretty good form. I mean, Jared Bowen, Ballon d'Or or what? He's outstanding.
He's flying. He got to get an England call-up. I think with the exception of last week's calamity against Leeds, which it was a complete calamity. But no, not taking away from Leeds, they've done brilliant. We have had a great season. We had a little bit of a blip in December. But I think that was fixture pile-up catching up on us. We're not used to having Europe and things like that. But we seem to have got back on track. And we've got a few players coming back from injury as well, which is good. We've got Zuma coming back and Souček. Apparently, they're going to be hopefully fit for the game, which is a massive, massive plus for us. But yeah, in general, you can't really complain. It's been all right, hasn't it? I could get used to this. I'm getting a bit dizzy up this end of the table. I don't know what to do. Man United fans might not be able to sort of help me out with that one, but I don't know what to do. It's too high.
You mentioned Jared Bowen for England. I'm praying to God that he's got a grandmother's best friend's dog sit who's Welsh.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah,
exactly. He must know someone who's Welsh, surely. Doesn't that qualify these days? I think it is. To have a Welsh friend.
This is my English geography. It's Hereford near Wales. That is near Wales, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not
Hereford's
far
England, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's on the borders, isn't it?
Right on the border.
Yeah.
Right on the borders. That's where he's from. He's from Hereford. So literally, it's possible. It is possible. You know what I mean?
Oof, you give me
on holiday.
Yeah. You want to kill Zoo now.
Don't do that.
West Ham though. Fourth in the league. Quite a way. Well, I say quite a way off. They 5 points and 2 games ahead of your boys, Omar. So
I've got to know though, just quick before are you dreaming yet? Are you daring to dream of a Champions League?
Do you know what? I'm going to be realistic, and I think I'm just still being a pessimistic West Ham fan, and I think we're going to finish 6th. I think we've let too many points slip against like lesser opposition. No disrespect, but we have people like Southampton, Leeds, people like Drew at Burnley. I think there's teams around us with a lot of games in hand. I think Spurs have got games in hand, what with all the COVID fixtures and things like that. 4th would be the dream, absolute dream. But I think realistically, it's going to 6th. Anything less than 6 would be a disaster. I think 6 would be a great season for us.
It ain't mad. If you told it 2 years ago that you'd be saying on a podcast anything less than a 6th place Premier League finish, is a nightmare. Like
it's different world for us. People think I'll be drunk. People think I'll be mental. They would literally think you've lost the plot, And it's funny because it's like I said, it's new territory for us. We're so used to being either in the mix in the middle or fighting relegation. There's a running joke at the minute. We're going, was it with 3 points off safety? All West Ham fans are thinking now we are literally 3 points away from safety. But do you know what? Full credit to Moyes. I think a testament to him and his backroom staff. What they've done at that club is nothing short of fantastic. We just need to get more investment. I don't know if you're going to touch on the transfers later, but we're kind of we're that cusp. A few more players, and I think we could really sort of be up there with the big boys. Definitely.
Speaking of the big boys, how many points off safety are United, Omar?
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. But United haven't been. I wouldn't say they haven't been convincing this season. I think in large parts recently. Since Ralph Rangnick has come in, I think loads of people expected him to make a change instantly and kind of have a similar impact to what Thomas Tuchel had at Chelsea, but it hasn't happened like that. And I think a lot of you've got to, I don't like to say blame, but I think the players have to take a bit of credit and a bit of responsibility for what's been going on at the club. Anthony Martial wants to leave. Paul Pogba it's looking likely that he's not going to sign a new deal. I think there's a lot of dressing room discontent there because the squad is so big and there's certain players that just aren't getting game time, the likes of Dean Henderson, Donny van der Beek, Jesse Lingard as well, Martial as well. So I think it's very split, the dressing room. And I think when you have a split dressing room, massively contrasting to what West Ham United have got. There seems to be a real team spirit that David Moyes has created in there, and full credit to him. But United just don't seem to have that at the moment. There's reports of segments of like the Portuguese side of things, such as Ronaldo, Dalot, Bruno Fernandes controlling one side, and then you've got the English players like Harry Maguire, Jesse Lingard, Luke Shaw. They're in one corner, and then you've got these other players that are in some sort of limbo. So it's a difficult one. At this current moment in time, I think United are going to really struggle to get top four. I really do, because they just can't seem to hit that consistency. But the Villa game did kind of offer a bit of hope in the sense because Ralph Rangnick, what he did, he changed his system from a 4-2-2-2 to a 4-3-3. And it seemed to work better. There seemed to be more fluidity in the game. Bruno Fernandes was getting on the ball a lot more, and he was showing signs of the form he was showing last season. So it's going to be interesting going forward, but I think it's going to be a tight game on Saturday, that's for sure.
Before we actually get into the sort of nitty gritty of the actual game, I just want to, you're a man of the press, Omar. I read some reports. I read some reports on Twitter yesterday that Ralph Rangnick has said that Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, and I believe it's Wan-Bissaka aren't good enough and need replacing. How true is that?
It's a difficult one, but from what I understand, from what Ralph Rangnick likes in, okay, let's take the fullbacks, for example. From what Ralph Rangnick likes in his fullbacks, he likes offensive play, basically. And Luke Shaw now and Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, you could argue that he does have a lot of attacking traits, but he's more of an all-rounded fullback compared to the likes of Alex Telles. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, defensively, he's sound. He is a defensive fullback, but going forward, he isn't in the elite category as I'd put maybe Trent Alexander-Arnold or Reece James or João Cancelo for the matter. And I think the way Rangnick likes his fullbacks playing with width, with offensive play, I think you can presume, and I do think it is true, that he is going to like a certain type of fullback, and that's why I think he is preferring the likes of Diogo Dalot and Alex Telles, who are both starting tonight. In terms of Harry Maguire, I think you've got to look at it contextually. He hasn't had a good season at all. And I personally think Harry Maguire doesn't suit Manchester United. And I think there's a lot of people that are coming to terms with that because I think he only performs well in the back three, like we see with England. I think he needs those two centre-backs to cover him because he's not the quickest. He's a brilliant passer of the ball, but he always seems to perform well and perform better in a back three than he does when in a back four, for example. And I think a lot of United supporters have looked at, the history of the club captains and stuff, and they've never gone through spells like this where they're not hated, but they're disliked. I mean, take, for example, Roy Keane, Nemanja Vidic, Gary Neville, they were all liked by the fan base. I think there's too many segments of the fan base at the moment that don't like Harry Maguire as captain. And that's why I do fear for him. But do I see United selling him? No, I don't. But can I see United going for another centre-back? Yes, I do. And I think if that happens, then Maguire could be replaced on a long-term basis.
It's interesting, isn't it?
I thought he was going to be very political and democratic, but he just went in. He just went in. I'm glad you did, to be honest.
You put it up at us, Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting you said that. I think as Swansea fans, me and Alex's ears pricked up a bit when you were talking about the fullback situation, because obviously we've had Ethan Laird ripped from underneath us. And
I don't want to get into that. It's still too soon.
It stings, doesn't it? It does sting a bit. And given to Bournemouth, but obviously Bournemouth play a back four, we play a back five. So maybe that was a sort of Rangnick decision to blood him for maybe next season, maybe the season after, because I could see him staying with Bournemouth beyond this season.
I mean, if it was me now, I would recall him back because I think he's an absolutely sensational talent. I mean, you guys will full well know how good Ethan Laird is. I mean, he's so good, and I do think he could become a Trent Alexander type if he's molded correctly by Rangnick. Because I mean, it was Jurgen Klopp who developed Trent Alexander-Arnold from the youth academy to the senior team, and I think if under the guidance of Rangnick or the next permanent manager, I'm sure you want to get into it in a minute, but I think that Ethan Laird's got a bright future at United, that's for sure.
Definitely. We could see that, can we, from the start of the season.
It was blatant. It was blatant.
Right, we're going to have to stop talking about this because I'm getting too sad.
I want to ask a question, and it's directed at Trevor, and I'm sick of all this nicey nonsense. Trevor, do you fear Manchester United? In a word.
Not as much as we used to.
There we are. Tell me why. Get into it.
That's more than one word.
Get into it.
More than one word.
Don't matter. Get into it.
I think going to Old Trafford, no matter who you are, it comes with a certain, not fear factor, but a reputation to it. So you can't take it lightly. But is it the Man United that we were playing 10 years ago? No. Was it 5 years ago? No. And I think they've got that kind of there to be beaten attitude, like feeling about them now. Like obviously, obviously from an outsider looking in, a lot of sort of negativity in the press, like what you said, Omar, about obviously negativity around the club. If Moyes could be looking at his players now going, look, these guys are here for the taking. This isn't the old Man United of old. So I think you've still got to be careful. It's not, it's not going to be an easy game, but it's definitely got more of a shot this time than ever.
Omar, what have we got to say about that?
I mean, I think it just shows how, I don't like saying a decline of United, but I just think it just shows the mess this season that there has been in terms of the results. And I think if you bring in, all the things of dressing room discontent and so on, and the negativity around the club, like Trevor just reminded me there, unfortunately. But,
sorry about that, mate.
But
digging up stuff.
But if you take that all into consideration, I think, from the outside perspective, I probably would say United are there to be got at. But at the same time, you don't know with this United side. They either turn up or they don't. And I mean, the best example of that was actually the West Ham United game at the London Stadium, where United didn't actually play that well. And then they somehow managed to get the 3 points. So, and I think tonight's game against Brentford will teach us a lot more, because I thought in that Villa game, that was actually United's best performance under Rangnick, and they kind of sloppily gave the win away. But I think tonight, Brentford are a tough side. I think it's a horrible away day, to be honest with you, especially under the floodlights at the Brentford Community Stadium. Now that's become a thing for some reason. But I think we're going to learn a lot more about this United side. And if the wingers get more into the play with the 4-3-3 system, then I think there's a lot of positivities to take into Saturday's match.
I'm actually really looking forward to this game now.
I really am.
I think it's going to be a good old game. Omar, if there's one player, if you were Ralph Rangnick now, and you said there's one player to watch in the West Ham side, who would you pinpoint?
think you'll be Jared Bowen. I mean, he's just been absolutely sensational recently. But I have been impressed a lot with West Ham this season in terms of, the actual all-round displays of David Moyes' team. It just looks like a solid unit, to be honest with you. I mean, the back four always looks consistent. The midfield duo, Declan Rice and Thomas Souček, are solid. And then I think that fluidity of Lanzini and Pablo Fornals can create real threats, because I've noticed with their movement is absolutely sensational. And what I do like about West Ham as well is that when they do play their systems, they like getting their wing backs forward, which create overloads, the fullbacks, sorry. And the overloads they create are absolutely sensational. I think that is a key area where West Ham could get at United, because Ralph Rangnick has spoken a lot about his wingers, his fullbacks, wanting to push up high and push forward. But I think that's an area that West Ham can exploit if they use their overloads of Soufal and Aaron Cresswell. I don't know if is Cresswell injured. I'm not too sure. Trevor.
No, he's back. He's back now. Cresswell, we played the other night.
Yeah. So I think that could be a real problem for United, because I think the fullbacks are an area where there's still a bit of debate around it, to be honest with you, because as I said, that Rangnick prefers more offensive fullbacks, but the consequence of that is that they're not really that good defensively. And if West Ham have those overloads, then I think it could create a real problem in the wide areas.
What a good answer.
Very well structured.
I know.
Trev, top that one, mate. Go on.
Don't expect anything as constructive like that. I think obviously players to look out for, I suppose, at Man United, it's going to be Ronaldo. And obviously someone like Cavani. I think the reason why I put them two in there is because if Zuma's back fit, that'd be a massive help to us, because our weakness at the minute are our centre backs. Since we've lost Zuma and Ogbonna, that's been a bit of a weak point for us. Diop's not really done it, and Dawson, we know what Dawson is. He's a no frills sort of top quality Championship player, but he's not really, against someone like Man United, he could struggle a bit. So I think someone like those two down the middle, sort of giving him a bit of grief, could be a bit of a problem. I think you took the words out of my mouth a bit about the overlapping from us. That's something we've been really doing well this season, and I think we could really exploit from you guys. I actually think this is going to be quite a sort of, not high score. I think it's going to be a few goals in this one.
Yeah,
I really do.
I'd like to see a couple of goals. I would like to see a couple of goals. Is Miguel Antonio playing? Because I remembered him going off. I didn't see the game after. I can't remember if he's fit or not.
Yeah, no, he's fit. He is playing. They seem they've got him in the middle. He does seem to be drifting out wide a little bit, but he's done great. You've got to give him a lot of credit for. He's not actually a forward. He's kind of like a sort of out on the right, coming in, sort of like Traore sort of player. And we've had to sort of adapt him into a centre forward role because we had no one. And he's done really, really well.
Point in his career.
I was literally about to ask this.
Yeah.
Was it a fever dream, or did he play right back one time?
No, he did.
Played right back.
I honestly thought I was on a fever dream.
When Bilic went on a bit of a mad one, and for some reason, I think he went as right back as cover on a random game, and then Bilic went, "Are we going to make you into a right back?" And he was like, "No. Why are you putting me at right back?" And I think apparently the rumor is that obviously he approached Bilic, wasn't too happy about it, and said, "Look, I'm a forward or that sort of position." But yeah, he did play right back at some point. But he's one of these players where if you put him in that position, he'll give it a go. He'll try his hardest. Obviously, we do worry about him pushing too much, obviously, with his injuries. I personally, this is my personal opinion, I think he's been holding back a little bit because of that. Because he knows there's no one in the back to sort of take over from him. Like if he gets injured, we've got no forward. So I think that he's been holding back a little bit. But if he can make a run on Maguire, like you say, he's not that quick, and with someone like Bowen and him running at him, it could be quite dangerous. Could be quite dangerous.
I think it could be. United could struggle. I think the thing is, the Maguire's been benched tonight on the day of recording against Brentford. It doesn't look like Rangnick is. I know we've discussed that he's not a big fan of him, but he's not playing him just because he's the captain either. Like he is making the changes. Oh, where's Phil Jones gone now? Because he had a really good game the other day. He actually did play really well.
I absolutely love that bloke. Just putting it out there because, but no. Against Wolves, I actually thought he was United's best defender. And United have had a problem all season with conceding goals, and I just think, to be honest, I do sometimes feel sorry for Maguire in the sense that he is used as the scapegoat quite a lot because he is the captain, and he has this kind of persona and this almost reputation in the United fan base of being like a take the piss out character, if you know what I mean. So you know, people call him Slabhead. People say he drinks the Jaeger.
I was literally about to call him Slabhead.
Well, this is the thing. I think because there's such a comedic like feeling around him, sometimes people can't really take him that seriously, and I think that's part of the problem sometimes with Maguire. I think whatever he tries, there's always going to be some person in the United fan base that criticizes whatever he does.
Yeah,
and I think that's the problem he's in at the moment. And that's maybe why Ragnick has benched him a lot. I mean, there's reports that are saying he's got a rib injury, but I'm not so sure I believe that, because I think there's a lot of things that have been coming out of United at the moment that just haven't seemed to be true. So I think there is a deeper issue there. But going back to your point of Phil Jones, yeah, absolutely love the bloke.
Oh, man. I was going to ask about transfers. Just, I know it's not match related, and I know we got both of your views for our transfer watch episode, but now obviously we're just over halfway through the month. So Trevor, what do you think?
Just to interject quickly, when we did those episodes, I think if we said to Trevor, look, you'll be above United come January, your January transfers are going to be looking a bit different, you would have, I don't know whether you would have believed me, mate. I
would have been I just believed you a little bit because of the way we were playing, but to be above Man United the way we are, no, I wouldn't. Like I say, it's still lovely. It's nice. It's been unique for us and a bit new for us. But you wanted to talk about the transfers. Like we're linked with everyone. You know, literally, you pick up there's a press report. We're linked with them. The latest one I heard was Andy Carroll. Apparently, no.
I heard he was going. It wasn't
Burnley. I heard
Burnley. That was the one.
Burnley, but apparently on socials it was circulating that West Ham were looking at him, and we were all kind of going, "What next? You're going to bring back Mido and Benny McCarthy at the same time?" It's like, what are we doing? It's the same old West Ham transfer window. We linked with everyone, get no one. Which is, I think, I've been our biggest bugbear in the fact that we do have a small squad and we do need players. The biggest ones I'd say that probably might happen is it begins with a H. I can't pronounce his name. He plays for Sparta Prague. He's a forward, 19-year-old young guy.
Plozek or something like that.
Plozek, yeah, something like that. We've got a guy from Brazil that's made me really interested, Gabriel Batista.
He's like Barbosa or something like that.
Barbosa or something, yeah.
I know the guy you mean, yeah.
And the last one I heard centre-backs wise was Nathan Ake. But once again, typical West Ham, we'll leave it to the last minute. Will we get someone? I don't know, but we really, really need at least one forward, I'd say.
I saw you
one of our boys, to be honest.
Ben Cabango, yeah.
Oh, there we are. What did I say?
They were linked. There we are. They were linked last week to Ben Cabango.
That's what I'm saying. We link with everyone. Literally, if they're half decent or their agents put a name out there, our name will be in the frame, basically. And I think a lot of West Ham fans, I know if you go on the socials, we're getting a bit bored of it. It's like transfer window time. It's like, oh, here we go. You know, link with everyone. Link with everyone. Get no one. Yeah. So, but we do need a
for Swans fans. We link with nobody. We never sign anyone. We don't.
Still get no one. So there we are.
Omar, what do United need to do?
I mean, similar to Trevor, really. I think United get linked to loads of players, but for some reason they just don't seem to want to.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense to me though, because after seeing the way Ethan Laird plays and things, that they'll still be linked with another fullback, another attacking wing. It just doesn't make sense to me why United are still going out and using the transfer windows, and they don't need it. Do you think they need it, or am I just talking out of my?
No, I think you're speaking sense. I think there's been one criticism which has resonated with me, and it's that United always spend, buy these £50 million players, and then they end up, back to square one, as they say. And I think if you look at, I hate saying this because they're United's rivals, but if you look at Liverpool's strategy in the transfer market, it's like a Moneyball approach where they use statistics, data, analysis, and buy players that fit into the mold of a philosophy that's molded around Jurgen Klopp and the manager Jurgen Klopp. I think United have had a tendency to go for not the obvious players, but players that would please the fan base more than the players that they actually need. And I think that's been their problem with them, and that's why there are a few gaping holes, should I say, in the squad. For our understanding, United are unlikely to, this is the Manchester Evening News understanding, United are unlikely to sign anybody in the window. They're drawing up a shortlist for summer targets. There's reports that United are interested in Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham, but I personally, if you want my opinion, I don't think they will sign any of them, because if they do miss out on the Champions League, then that's going to be a big, a key area that players look out for. And yeah, if United miss out on that, then I don't think those types of players will come. But if they do come, then yeah, maybe those types of players will come. But in terms of names that have been linked, United need a defensive midfielder. I think there's a gaping hole in the middle of the midfield, and the one name that has been linked is Amadou Haidara from RB Leipzig. He's got a £33 million release clause, and apparently Ralph Rangnick really likes him. So it'll be interesting to see if there are any developments on that if United do lose this game or the game at the weekend. But I don't think it's likely, to be honest with you. And I think, yeah, United are going to be strengthening the summer if it's going to be anything else.
Can I just say, I think that's the first bit of like actual serious journalism we've ever
Yeah, I
had
know.
on cinema.
We've been here for like a season and a half,
Ever.
and that was the first couple of seconds we've had. So thank you for that, Omar. Thank you very much.
There we are. We're gonna clip that and make it look like a really like posh podcast.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
We'll just save that. We'll keep that in like the archives or something. We'll just dig it out.
Send that for the show reel. That's one for the show reel, that is. Thank you both for joining us. Thank you for both for your insights. Finally, before we go, can we get a little score prediction? So shall we go to the claret and blue corner, as I called it? Trevor?
Well, I'm going to go for, it's going to be a score draw. I'm going to go for a Desmond. I'm going to go for 2-2.
2-2.
That's a good game, that is. A 2-2.
Omar?
I was going to go for 2-2, Trevor. I'll go something different. I'll go
3-3.
I'll go 1-1. I'll go
1-1.
Okay. 1-1.
Alex?
Either way, it's a deadlock. Do you know what? I'm gonna say 3-2 West Ham.
3-2.
I'm gonna say 3-2 West Ham.
Okay.
I fancy a couple of goals.
Yeah, I'm going 2-1 West Ham.
Sorry, Omar.
Sorry, Omar. I'm backing them.
So it'll be 4-1 Man United.
Times changed. Times changed.
I know. Tell me about it. Well, thank you both for joining us. Do you like to take a couple of do you want to plug your social medias or whatever we can find your work?
You do.
Trevor?
Me first, or I've gone, Omar, you go first.
Just at Garrick Omar on Twitter. You can find me on there, and I'm tweeting away about literally everything. So yeah, if you want to come find what I'm tweeting about, probably just a load of stupid rubbish, but yeah, give me a follow.
You've sold that wonderfully.
Yeah. That's what we do, to be honest.
Yeah, myself, I'm on Instagram, Trevor Bickles, TikTok, Big Trev Comedy, Big Trev, I think it's Big Trev Comedy or Big Trev Taxi. And yeah, basically best way you can find me on the socials, really.
There we are.
He is on YouTube as well, everyone.
You always remind me of that one. Yeah, the real I always forget that one. I've got the Real Taxi Show on YouTube. It's a taxi-based chat show. It's called the Real Taxi Show, based on a fake version you may have seen. Maybe you have, Sam. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I'm on that as well. Check that out on YouTube.
Lovely. Thank you both. Enjoy the game as well. I hope it's well, if our predictions or anything to go by, I think it's going to be quite
we all know it's going to finish 0-0, don't we?
It will be 0-0 now.
But there we are. We can hope.
There we are. Another one done. Another week, another episode. Alex, been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Next week. Next week.
I don't know, mate. To be honest, the news maybe. We'll see. Whatever we feel like, innit?
Yeah, they will.
Podcast we do we like. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. We'll leave you to it. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good weekend again. Yeah, I'm gonna go now.
He's waffling.
Take care.
See you later, guys.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Take care.